Welcome to our 5 on 5. We're here talking about the Jackson County Sexual Assault Response Team with the group's executive director, Susan Moen, as well as Greg Frederick from Greg Frederick Productions. Susan, I want to start with you. What is SART?
SART is a nonprofit. It stands for Sexual Assault Response Team of Jackson County, and we provide services, free services, to sexual assault survivors. We run the Sexual Assault Nurse Examiner Program, which is acute care for a survivor, and that exists at any of the 3 Jackson County hospitals. And that can be medical care, an exam. We do forensic evidence collection if the survivor wants to report. We do referrals to ongoing services, and we link the survivor up with an advocate from Community Works. And so that's a free service for survivors. SART also runs a peer counseling support group, and we've recently started doing prevention work in schools and in communities.
And why is it so important to have an expert like someone from the team there in the hospital when one of these victims is coming in?
Well, there are a lot of barriers for sexual assault survivors to come forward, even to come forward to get care, and then even more barriers to reporting the crime. In Oregon, for example, studies show that only 10% of female rape victims report the crime against them. Wow. So there are these barriers to coming forward. We have discovered that if the survivors can have a first contact with somebody who is well trained in the emotional after effects of this trauma and in the physical effects, if that person is well trained, then the survivor, I think, feels more comfortable getting that care and also feels more comfortable usually continuing in maybe with the legal process or with other kinds of support services afterwards. So our SANE nurses are specifically trained. And the other thing is that for that SANE program, if a survivor comes to the hospital, everything is free, including any kind of medication. And they don't have to go through a lengthy triage and waiting in the emergency room. They get a private room immediately, and then their care is one-on-one with the SANE nurse, and then with an advocate if they wish.
Yeah, continuity, I would assume,
Exactly.
very important.
Yeah.
Okay, and Greg, you're working with SART on an upcoming fundraiser. Tell us about this.
Well, we have an event coming up on July 29th where we're going to present a wonderful day of art and music and food and at Edenvale Winery. A wonderful, beautiful place.
Yes.
It's got a wonderful French theme to it, kind of turn-of-the-century fun theme. We're encouraging everybody to come out in costume and have be very involved in it. Yeah. And we're going to be featuring lots of the wonderful artists from the Valley and creating what's called a tableau vivant, which is a living painting. So this will be very large, probably 30 feet by 20 feet high, a large piece of art. And the people who are coming to the event will actually be able to be part of the piece of art. They would be actually introduced into a 3D kind of set and become part of this giant piece of art. And there will also be artists there sculpting and painting. You know, our goal is, from an arts point of view, is to give people an idea of how art is created, not just what they see in the end. It's going to be wonderful music. People will be able to bid on being part of the art. They can be a rogue suspect if they want for that night. They can bid on that.
Watch out. Might be some trouble for someone like me. Yeah, that would not be good for anybody.
And we also have Eric Stern from Vagabond Opera is going to be there, and just some wonderful people. There's dinner, a wonderful dinner. We have a French market that people will be able to wander through that has costumes and food and tastings and lots of different wonderful things. So it's going to be a great event. On July 29th from 5 to 9, I guess.
Excellent, excellent. Susan, why is fundraising like this so important for the SART program?
Well, when we started the SART back in 2005, there was a lot more state and federal funding for this kind of, this kind of work with survivors, and that's slowly been cut. There's been a big fight over the Violence Against Women Act reauthorization, for example, on the national level. And so we're really having to turn to local fundraising efforts, community supporting the work that we do in the community. And it's unfortunate. There was just a state Senate bill in Oregon that mandated that every county in the state have a sexual assault response team and have a SANE program, but it was an unfunded mandate. So I think you'll find, we are not the only county that is going to be really looking harder for funds to really create what is the gold standard for care for sexual assault survivors.
Yeah, vitally important. Greg, how much are tickets and where can people find them?
Tickets are $50, which includes dinner, a full dinner, wine, the whole experience of the event. They're going to be available at Brown Tickets. They're also available at the Treehouse Books store in Ashland on the plaza. And they're also available at United Way.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you both so much for coming in. Fantastic event. Glad we could get the word out with you.
Thank you.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.